Hi, Catalina, coming to you here from my home studio, aka my living room. I am providing updates as we inch towards repayment because, there's weekly news coming out, but I want to make sure everybody stays abreast with what's happening in the news around student loans as we inch closer to May 1st, which I cannot believe we're at the end of March, which means literally in 1 month. So 4 weeks from now, we need to prep to be kicked into repayment. So I want that to be a constant reminder to people. So we're prepared, right? As well as what the news is saying is going to happen because nothing official has been released. But there is some news with the 2023 budget, what's predicted to happen. So if you're a student loan borrower or your close friends or family and with any borrowers and would like to make sure they get this information, please share as well as like because the YouTube algorithm will recommend us to other borrowers who could benefit from this news. So I want to talk first and foremost about what I'm seeing about the 2023 budget. Biden's budget for 2023 does not include any items on student loan forgiveness. So it doesn't eliminate the possibility that the pause may be extended because that does not require a congressional budget line item. So let me just clarify that right up front before I go through this article I'm reviewing. But basically, millions of Americans are awaiting the news and looking for clues, right? So we're looking into the 2023 budget while the administration is considering extending the pause, as well as how to think about debt forgiveness. So in Joe Biden's 100-page budget for 2023, there's nowhere mentioning student loan forgiveness or really additional payment pauses that will be considered in the 2023 budget as Americans are expected to continue into repayment, right? The White House requested $2.7 billion to improve customer service for borrowers. So there is a line item to improve customer service for borrowers. Right now, you call your servicer and you get this like call center-like experience where very little information is personalized. They give out a lot of generic information to borrowers, mostly pointing them to like studentaid.gov links and information. And it's actually very not helpful, in fact, sometimes harmful to providing borrowers with any customized feedback on what they should be doing or considering with their student loans. And that's actually why LoanSense exists, to help people be able to make those personalized decisions. But of course, if borrowers can more easily get that, we're obviously in support of that. It's unclear when people with student loans will have to interact with their servicers again. That's funny. But most borrowers haven't made a payment on their debt in more than 2 years. Yeah, something like 99% of borrowers during this pause have not made payments. Despite the omission of any information on the payment side in Biden's budget, the administration has suggested it was considering delaying the payments beyond May that are currently slated to resume. So there's no specific indication, but our 1.7 trillion in debt has now gone up to 1.75 trillion as nobody really, like, basically nobody's paying down their loans. So it's actually continuing to go up slightly because people still have taken out loans, right, during that time period. So year over year, there's this graph. It continues to go up. For 2006, there's 500 billion in student debt. In fact, the second largest debt item was not student loans. Now comes mortgage, and now it's student loans. Before it was not student loans. I believe it was credit cards. So we're ballooning our student loan amounts to outpace other forms of debt besides mortgages. Mortgages is a $16 trillion market. But the point is, this is an issue with a rising debt amount that we do need to address, especially as other news articles are coming out with more and more borrowers feeling like they're not going to be able to enter repayment, right? So it says in this article, the president's going to look at what we should do on student debt before the pause expires, or he'll extend the pause. That's kind of what it says, but there's no official news yet. So the White House is likely to only include a request for forgiveness if it is if Congress will implement it. So Biden is very much like Congress has to approve. Congress has to approve forgiveness is Biden's stance right now, and he's not including it in his budget. And unless Congress authorizes it, it doesn't seem like forgiveness is part of his plan. The omission could suggest the administration was still contemplating canceling the debt without legislation, either through regulation or executive action. So that's a possibility as well. So I wanted to include those two things. Like, these are the possibilities to summarize this article. One, he will continue the payment pause extension, and that's a level of support he feels for this proposal in terms of helping borrowers manage their debt. The second one is he's waiting for Congress to authorize increased spending for forgiveness. Or the third is that he plans on canceling debt without any form of legislation, either through new regulation or an executive action. Which, those are three possibilities. I actually think it's more like a combination of one, he might extend the pause, and two, he thinks Congress needs to act on it. I don't think there's any indication so far that he's in favor of actually using his executive authority to cancel student debt thus far. So that's kind of the news. I don't know. That's kind of a bummer, right, for us student loan borrowers. But just know that there, of course, are still income-driven repayment programs you can enroll in when we get it kicked into repayment. So if you can't afford it, that is a form of loan forgiveness that you can utilize to reduce your payment. So don't forget about that, even though this news is kind of a bummer, but it's good to know that there are still options, right? Man, they're showing that a third of borrowers are likely to not be able to make their payments. So if you fall within that category, please do not go unassisted. Like, we're here to help you if you fall into that category, right? So let us help you. A lot of borrowers are frustrated, and the constant shifting of the repayment date is very confusing, and it's causing a lot of issues. So that's why I'm constantly updating you all, so that you can stay as up to date with as possible, so that the frustration of having to manage these programs and this process could be made more simple, right? So a lot of borrowers, the suspect, like, here's another article I want to go over. They suspect a lot of borrowers aren't going to be able to make the payments because of rising inflation, costs of living increases, which are real concerns, right? And if you spent 2 years not paying $500 a month, if that's your payment, and now you don't earn that much more money, but your rent went up, groceries cost more money, like, I 100% empathize with you. Not that the formula on the income-driven repayment plans have changed, but if you need those programs, there are no shame in accessing programs that will adjust your payment based on income so that you don't get into the risk of defaulting on your student loans or continually making late payments, because that will hurt your credit. And especially if you get into default, it will hurt you. Your credit, your ability to purchase a home down the line, if that's something you want to consider. So just make sure to really understand what is your budget going to be. How can you squeeze out the amount for your payments? And if you can't, then adjusting them based on your income so that you can afford them, because we would not want to see people get into default. So let us know if we can help you. We hope this information is useful. I actually want to cover one other article I found. 3 ways Biden is budgeting for better support. Oh, this is the $2.7 billion, by the way. to provide better support. Let's see how this is defined according to Business Insider. Um, on Monday, Biden unveiled his $5.8 trillion budget request, which of course includes taxing billionaires, fund the police, and invest in combating climate change. But education also received $88.3 billion, $15.3 billion increase from 2021, with a significant portion going towards K-12 education. He is proposing a historic doubling of Pell Grants, which is great. It's like aid for lower income families to be able to afford college, increasing funding for historically Black and universities and minority serving institutions by $752 million. And he is giving Federal Student Aid Office $2.7 billion to provide better support. So that is interesting. I love the government solves problems by throwing money at it. Not that that's bad. It's just, what exactly is that doing? You know, is it to invest in more customized solution for borrowers? Is it to auto-enroll people into programs when they need it? Like, what is that $2.7 billion for? So that's what I would want to know. But they propose that it will improve customer support for student loan companies, i.e. Fed Loans, Mohila, your servicers, ensure that borrowers who must switch student loan companies because of servicer shutdown have a successful transition, and that they give it to loan servicers who have more stable contracts. So that's what it's doing. And working with Congress on changes to the Higher Education Act that eases the burden of student debt, including through improvements of the income-driven repayment and public service loan forgiveness programs. Okay, so it's going to improve these programs, but in what way, we don't know. It's very unspecific. And flaws with student loan company contracts and customer support are undoubtedly issues many bars have struggled with. Absolutely. We hear that all the time. I called my servicer. They gave me no options. They told me to enroll in this extended graduated plan or whatever. That's horrible. Some reported hour-long wait times for assistance, right? Others have filed for loan forgiveness and have never heard back. And of course, immediate relief to federal borrowers. So anyways, while Biden extends the pause on student loan payments 3 times, along with canceling debt for targeted groups, payments are set to resume May 1st. So there has not been, Patty Murray has proposed extending pause until 2023, giving Biden a chance to permanently fix the entire student loan industry, including the broken loan forgiveness program. So you can see there's big push to extend the pause, you know, but I wanted to update us all on that. Everything we're asking for can be done at the administrative level, Murray told reporters last week. It's the quickest way to get this moving. So basically, Patty Murray is saying extend the pause until 2023. And we, as an administration, like the Department of Ed, will fix some of the issues of the student loan programs and the way student loan servicers work at an administrative level. An administrative level is like the Department of Ed level. So his budget proposal includes the $2.7 billion to help fund these initiatives that the Department of Ed's going to take to enact and fix the problems with these broad relief programs. So that's an updated final article I wanted to share. If you think this is, I think it's great that they're taking initial steps, but will the government make it as easy as I think it should be? Like, the government knows what you filed as your income last year. The government, like, why do we have to make it so hard? That you should be able to click a button and enroll. That's it. Like, click a button. And instead of collecting all this information, like relaying back and forth, like there should be a much, much simpler way. The same thing I feel about our tax system, but who knows? That is unlikely to change as well. But anyways, if you think anyone can use this information because they will be paying their student loans in 2023, Please do not forget to share, like, comment. We will try to answer. We basically answer everybody's questions and comments, so please leave them. And we will see you next week. Next week is already April. Can't believe it.